I'm Ulfur Hansson in Iceland, and I'm the creator of the Segulharpa. One of my big musical experiences is just tied in with walking to school every day, and it's dark until 10 o'clock in the morning. So at 8, when I'm walking as a kid, it's pitch black and you have your headphones and you're just immersing yourself into this music that kind of, keeps you going on your way to school every day. And it just opened up a whole new world to me that I couldn't access anywhere else. And it was very private and very deep moments where I was, exploring electronic music with no context. A lot of the influence for creating something like the harp comes from my father. So there's always been a lot of music in the house and also a deep connection to sound and like the color and intricacies of certain types of physical objects making music. You're always thinking about things, you're always kind of exploring ideas and what would be interesting. And then all of a sudden, it's almost like you're gripped with like this insane compulsion. You just have to make this thing. And that's very much how it happened. The Segulharpa is an acoustical instrument. It has 25 strings on the inside, and it's a circular object made out of walnut. When I started out, I had no clue about how to make this thing work in an efficient and beautiful sounding way. And it took me years. I think I've spent almost 7 years working on the design. It has electronic circuitry on the inside and electromagnets attached to each string that you can activate by touching copper plate surfaces on the front panel and play it like a keyboard. And each key will activate the circuitry that drives the string forward and makes it vibrate. It kind of bows it electromechanically.
It was interesting when I first saw the Segulharpa, I thought, okay, it's an acoustic instrument. And then he said it's electronic, and I said, okay, it's entirely an electronic instrument. And as I learned more about it, it was amazing to see how he fused the two in sort of a very cohesive way, which was something new in terms of this field. It's quite difficult to make electroacoustic instruments.
The Segulharpa, because it uses electromagnetic fields, because it uses wood, and because it uses touch to trigger those electromagnetic fields that didn't go into these wires that actually still sound like a tuned physical instrument, to me at least represented a good hybrid approach to thinking about that.
There is this inherent unpredictability in which overtone the strings will settle on, depending on what the other strings are doing. So if you play a chord, the feedback that's going through the strings will try to settle on the path of least resistance. And if there's a conflicting vibration happening nearby, it will sometimes make the strings jump up to a different harmonic of the harmonic series. So this kind of was, a pleasant surprise. This wasn't something that I had figured out before putting the thing together. I think with the harp, hearing other people play it is just planting the seed for something like this to have, the right to exist and have a place in someone else's creation.
future of music instruments, it's something that we're going to be seeing a lot more hybrid material. When I say hybrid, meaning between the physical interface of tuning systems, materials, and software.
I did my master's degree at Georgia Tech, and a lot of the experiments I had done and continue to do in exploring systems of feedback within circuits, within compositional systems, and even within performance contexts. One of the things that the Segulharpa evokes and accentuates very well is this feeling of generative, meandering, exploratory composition.
Music instruments are generally a reflection of the tools of their era. So I'm encouraged, and I'm happy to see that kind of innovation coming out of this sort of Icelandic meets Brooklyn mashup.